If you don't want to be broke and you want a happy financial future, watch this video because we're going to talk about how to create wealth investing in real estate. Where should you invest to create wealth in real estate? How do you invest to create wealth in real estate? And what should you do with your money long term to create cash flow and build wealth? We're going to cover all those right here, right now. Building wealth in real estate is strategic. And one of the strategies is to invest where people are going. People are moving to places like Florida, Utah, Idaho, Nevada, Arizona, Texas, Georgia, Tennessee. Why? Better weather. The baby boomers are getting older. They're moving down into the warmer climates, and there is a lot of demand and growth in those areas. They have room to build homes, and many of those states I mentioned are affordable tax-wise. So buying property in an up-and-coming area generally means you're going to probably enjoy more appreciation long-term. When you buy property, you want to look for properties that give you positive cash flow. Now, you could go on a place like Zillow from your living room right now, and you'll see they talk about price trends. They talk about what your mortgage payment would be. They talk about what the rent for that area may be. So those are big key factors in determining if that property makes sense or not, right? Another thing that I do when I invest in real estate is I try to look for the lowest price per square foot, because if you're already buying towards the bottom of the cost barrier, whether it's a new home, whether it's units, or whether it's an older home or a condo or even a mobile home, you will find that the lower price stuff has only one way to go usually, and that is what? Up, right? Recently I bought a $7.5 million building and I bought a $5,000 mobile home. Look at the spread. The $7.5 million building is in an area close to jobs and has an upside in rents because they haven't raised rents in 3 years. So that can add value. That's one way to build wealth in real estate. By doing that and raising rents over the next couple of years under the rent control laws in California, eventually that property will be worth an extra million or two, and I'll be able to refinance that and get some of my cash back I put as a down payment and buy more property. So that is another way to build wealth. Now let's talk about the mobile home. I buy a mobile home for $5,000. I get the thing renovated with Home Depot materials. It stays right where it is. I pay the park rent and I sell it for $40,000 or $45,000. What did I do? I spent $5,000 and maybe another $8,000 or $9,000 or $10,000 to fix it up. I'm into it $15,000. I sell it for $40,000. I make $25,000, right? Well, maybe I make more than that, because if I carry the financing, I get $15,000 down, so I got all my money back. And now I carry the financing for $25,000 at say 8% interest. Now I've got a monthly income stream. And if they don't pay me, I do what? I get the mobile home back. The mobile home has a DMV certificate of title, and I just become the lien holder. For those of you who don't have a lot of money, there's an example with not a lot of money buying a mobile home. And there's an example with more money buying an apartment building. And I bought that apartment building because the rents hadn't been raised in 3 years. And I own a similar apartment building not that far away. And I noticed that the rents were significantly lower. So two things here: buying low, fixing up, selling; buying close to market, but bringing rents to market, increasing value. Another way to create wealth in real estate is to have multiple properties. By having multiple properties, you have different properties that are all bringing in cash flow and what is called multiple sources of income. It's unlikely that every single one of those properties is going to become vacant at the same time, right? So you have multiple sources of income from that, right? The source is 126 Larson Street, 421 Main Street, 621 Nelson Avenue. These properties are bringing in revenue. Same with apartment buildings. You own multiple apartment buildings, or you got multiple tenants paying you rent. So owning multiple properties or apartments is another way to build wealth in real estate and help you to grow your real estate cash flow by rents increasing and keeping expenses down, improving the property, improving the product, so when you rent it, you could get more rent. You know, I could go on about this subject all day, and Unfortunately, these videos are about 10 to 12 minutes each. So don't forget to subscribe so you can see all the different information that we're putting together on this channel to allow you to learn how to earn, learn how to make money, create financial freedom for yourself, your family, and make a difference in your life, you know? Be able to have money and not be struggling. Pay off debt. Improve your credit. We talk about all these things. Another way to build real estate and common for people is the fix and flip or wholesaling. Wholesaling, of course, getting a property in contract and selling the contract to somebody else so you don't got to come up with sometimes any money at all, or fixing a property and flipping it and selling it, okay? This is another strategy that people use. I've talked about these in other videos, but essentially fixing and flipping is a way to get some cash, but not really a long-term wealth strategy because it's almost like a job. You're buying a property, you're fixing it, and then you're selling it. And yes, you may get a good-sized check, but then you got to pay taxes on it, right? But if you buy rental property and hold on to it, now being a rental property owner, you're enjoying depreciation, all the tax benefits of property ownership, potential appreciation, and also the ability to deduct a lot of different things like depreciation against income, which you don't get with flipping. Not knocking flipping, I do both, but I do believe that long-term wealth and cash flow comes from long-term holding of real estate most of the time. Understand that some of the properties that are bought by investment groups, which you may invest in investment groups as I have, where a syndicator may buy a property and sell it after 4, 5, 6, 7 years. And the reason they sell it is they want to get returns to their investor. So the big return may come from the sale, right? So they may say, well, we're going to give our returns of 5 or 6% annually to our investors. But then when they sell the property, their investor may not only get the 5 or 6 they enjoyed for several years, but now they may get twice what they put into the property. So if they invested 100, they may get 200 back. Well, now they made 100% on their initial investment plus 5 or 6% over several years. That's another way people get wealthy in real estate, by not actually owning the real estate, but investing with syndicators or people that buy property, manage it, run it, and they get a piece of the cash flow and a piece of the sale out. Another way is to use a self-directed 401, where you can use your 401 and you can invest in trust deeds, syndicated properties, or other way where you have the cash flow from real estate going in tax-free into your 401k. And you could use that money to invest. But again, with that, you're gonna have to check with your accountant, your lawyer, make sure you do everything legit so you don't get hit with a tax bill because you didn't follow whatever the rules are. Just like 1031 exchanges, which allow people to play Monopoly in real life and trade equity to equity, there's a bunch of rules around these, so hire professionals to help you so you don't make mistakes and you do things correctly. And by the way, don't be afraid to pay people. Everybody needs to make some money in this business, and paying for expertise is some of the best money you can ever spend. I've seen people who have made tens of thousands of dollars in mistakes or bigger by not having the right advisors, like the attorney they needed for their 1031 or their closing, or not confirming a wire instructions and having money stolen, or by not getting a good broker to help them to make sure they're not overpaying for a property. I had one friend of mine, he bought a property that later slid down the hill because he never got inspections. The foundation was already damaged. I found out later when I went over there and looked at it that the previous owners had put in all this extra foundation because it was on a hillside, because the foundation was coming apart. And the house ended up sliding down the hill and he lost everything. It was a big lawsuit and it was a big mess. Had he had proper professionals and got inspections, he never would have bought the property. He never would have had the problem. But he ended up with the problem because he was trying to save money and he just made an amateur error of not really knowing what he's buying. And I asked him, I said, my friend, I won't mention his name, but I said, my friend, how many properties have you seen that I bought on a hillside? And I'd bought over 100 at that point. And he said, none. I said, exactly. All right, I'm Paul Maguire. You can get my book down in the description area. Go ahead and click the link. Otherwise, I'll see you on the next video. Stay with me, learn how to earn, and let's help you pay off debt, increase your wealth, increase your cash flow and your financial future through real estate, smart investing, and certainly having a good mentor to help you, which I think I'm pretty good at it. And I'm not the only one, but I'm a pretty good one. Okay, talk to you soon.